We're in the thick of the low season right now, and if you're running a rent-to-rent serviced accommodation business, you're probably really starting to feel the pinch. But here's the thing, low season doesn't have to mean low profit. Today I'm going to share the exact strategies me and my students are using to stay profitable in these challenging times. I'm Kenny Pittman, a rent-to-rent coach with years of experience in this industry. I've secured multiple deals within the low season as well, so I'll be telling you exactly how that experience was. And I know exactly what it takes to turn things around, even in the quietest of months. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to forecast for the low season, how to manage your cash flow effectively, and if you really need to create one, have an exit strategy to keep your business running smoothly. Plus, I'm going to share a live example of how I took a property and how I turned a potential low season loss into a profit win. So I'll be sharing exactly how I got over that. So let's get straight into it. This time of year, November through to March, is when demand significantly drops, and you'll experience like your bookings have been really consistent, nothing really to worry about, and then suddenly it just goes quiet. Really frustrating, makes you panic. I get it, I've been there. But the key is to actually understand that low season is a normal part of this business. Of course it is. It's Airbnb, it's people traveling. You can't rely on contractors. Contractors need to be the bulk of your bookings, but you can't always rely on them. You don't want to be relying on anything. You want to rely on your data. My point is you need to prepare accordingly for the low season. So why does low season feel worse now than it's ever been? Well, we've got rising costs like utilities that's shot up in previous years. So that can feel overwhelming. You've got to take on properties and have a conservative budget assigned to just utilities. When I started, it used to be like 150 to 250 pounds. Now I'm saying 5 to 700. Obviously it depends on the type of property and the size of it, but yeah, it's a significant increase. Number two, guests might be booking less frequently than they used to because the disposable income that they used to have has changed. It's reduced. But don't worry, I'm going to show you how to plan and act to avoid you falling into the red. It's exactly this time last year, I secured a 3-bed property. The landlord wanted £2,250 in rent. The only comparable I found in the area was doing quite well, and it was a moderate comparable, and it was charging £125 a night. So there's no way I could get anywhere near what the landlord wanted. And again, we cannot go off of emotions, and yes, it was low season, so I was anticipating that, planning for that. I found one solid comparable and they were charging £125 a night during low season. They were getting bookings. It was looking okay. So that is what I made my offer on, and my offer was £1,250. You always submit your offer based on low season prices, based on people booking Monday to Thursday for 2 people. So you're taking on that property on a conservative basis. Do you see what I'm saying? When it comes to high season, you are going to be in a very good position. When it comes back to low season next year, that's the data you took that property on in the first place, based on 2 people booking it Monday to Thursday in low season. That is the price. The average nightly rate you guys need to find is the low season rate. If you secure that property on that basis, your property will be perfect all year round. That is really key. You need to take on a property based on low season ADR. Does that make sense? If it doesn't make sense, let me know in the comments. The rent I offered was £1,250. I anticipated the bills to be about 700, so my total expenses were 1,950. I marketed the property in terms of like contractors, relocators, insurance companies, business travelers, and obviously people looking for a home from home. So it went live December the 15th, smack bang in the middle of low season. Was I worried? Not really, because I took on the property based on data. But there's always that slight kind of, is anybody going to book this 10 days before Christmas? But my business was very established, right? I was willing to take the risk. I wouldn't suggest taking a risk if this is like your first or second or maybe even third property. If you're up near 10 properties, then you've got a substantial amount of experience. You'll know what to look for. And that's at the point I was at. So this is what I did. It went live. So my first booking came through from Airbnb. This was a relocator, an insurance person. Basically their clients, their houses flooded and they were looking for somewhere long-term whilst their own home was being refurbished. So yes, it come through Airbnb, and after OTA commissions, it was about £4,000 of revenue left. That covered all of my expenses for the month and left me with a heavy profit. That went on for another 2 months. So they were the housing provider. I contacted them after the initial booking because then you've got their contact details. Found out they wanted somewhere long term. But then we extended for an extra 2 months. So it turned into a direct booking, no OTA commission. So it went live on the 15th of December and they moved out at the end of March. Boom, now we're out of low season. That example was like perfect world example. But I know how to market a property. I know how to set it up on all of the OTAs. I know how to get to housing providers. I know how to market to housing housing providers. I know how to optimize the SEO so you're top of the list. This is where you want to be. You want to be searchable, findable, bookable, straight from the get-go from the right type of client. So that gave me guaranteed rent for the whole of the low season. My mind was at ease. Why did this work? This worked because it was combining short-term lets with medium-term lets. How do you avoid the unpredictability of the low season and secure steady income? And that's how you do it. It's all in the SEO, how you market your property, the pictures, the title. I would suggest, guys, if you're not using ChatGPT, highly recommend. It's free. Go on ChatGPT on Google, set up an account. It's absolutely free. Explain to ChatGPT exactly what you're doing. You're a rent-to-rent operator. You're trying to market your property to contractors, relocators, housing providers, business people in the area. Write me a description. I have a 3-bed property in this town. Hit enter. It would give you an amazing description and then just tweak it from there. Even your title of your property is so important. It shouldn't say like beautiful, charismatic, boutique cottage set in the heart of... No, that's not what you want. You want 3-bed, sleep 6, free parking, contractors, something along those lines, like really key points. Think of it, right? So the bulk of the month is Monday to Fridays, isn't it? We've got like 4, sometimes 5 Monday to Fridays. Who is going to book those slots? Contractors, business people, travelers, veterinarians, because they've got to work in different practices all over the UK for a month at a time. So your property has to be marketed heavily towards those type of clients that are going to book the Monday to Friday. But also you still want to accommodate the property for the weekenders. So don't niche your property down too much. Doesn't matter what your emotions or how you want to kit out the property. It's got to be quite neutral, colourful, clean, professional. If you're unsure on how to kit a property out, just ask in the public Facebook groups, especially mine, Rise Up Rent to Rent on Facebook. Join that. Just ask the question, how do you guys kit out your service accommodations? Can you give me some inspiration and some pictures? You'll be absolutely bombarded with pictures. People are proud of what they've created. They'll happily send you some inspiration. So that's the kind of adaptability to keep ahead of the field and not drop into low season. We don't want to go into low season. You shouldn't be experiencing it. If you know exactly what to do, you will not experience low season. The type of people that experience low season are the ones who have winged it before, taking on properties without training, taking on properties without mentors. It's a big, heavy, costly mistake to make. Okay, so we all know cash flow management is crucial, don't we? It's absolutely crucial. If you're not managing your cash flow that is coming into your business effectively, then essentially you're shooting yourself in the foot. You're probably feeling the squeeze right now. You know, we've just come heavy into low season. So let's focus on what you can do immediately. You guys need to eliminate non-essential expenses. If you're providing just a simple thing like Netflix to your property, you need to cancel that. Everybody logs out. I started doing that. It became like the craze. Everyone was attaching like the Netflix kind of logo to the TV. Yes, it's good for marketing, but most properties, like smart TVs, are so common now, it's almost expected in an Airbnb. So I would say the days of adding the red N to your pictures on the TV in your listing, people just expect a smart TV, so stop doing that. Don't provide an actual Netflix account because everyone logs out of that anyway, and you're forever logging back in. It's really a massive pain in the ass. Don't provide it. They only log out to log into their own account. So look, dive into your business. What expenses do you have? If you really are feeling the pinch of low season, then you need to eliminate unnecessary expenses. Number 2 is dynamic pricing. Use tools like Price Labs. Everyone's heard of Price Labs. It's brilliant. You do need to keep an eye on it though, because sometimes it makes silly decisions. Don't just leave it running in the background. Have it running, but keep a close eye on it. What essentially it does is it looks at the competition, looks at properties that are getting bookings, what is their nightly rate, and then kind of introduces that to your listing. So it attracts more guests without undercutting your revenue because you can set limits. It's really good. Check it out. If you haven't ever checked it out, just check it out. Number 3 is rainy day funds. The best advice I ever had is have 90 days of rainy days. So essentially, if your business income completely stops, you should have 90 days until it's completely depleted and your business is over. That should be your buffer, 90 days. Anything above that, you should be reinvesting, spending, living life a little bit, but always have 90 days allocated for rainy days. So how do you accumulate that? If you're doing very well in the high season, don't be spending all of your profits. Do not chuck everything out in dividends and lavish expenses, holidays. So you guys should be saving throughout the high season. Use that cash flow wisely. Don't be spending it all on expenses, like unnecessary expenses. Prepare for low season. Get your business to an established position so you can see a trend of like the low seasons. Track your business income. Like, don't just do it month by month. Do it month by month and then look at your average profit on each property for the year. It shouldn't be, profited £1,200 in July, profited £1,800 in June. They should be like, yeah, that property cash flows £950 average across a year. Now you know across long term, because you should have this property for like 3 to 5 years, yeah? You want to know what on average it makes per month. I hope that makes sense. It's really important. Just allows you to prepare for those tough months. Key point 4 is if you really have no way out, it's pivoting strategy. A lot of people do this for one beds. A lot of people take on one beds and they only work in really high key demand areas. And to go through low season with like a one bed, you do need to pivot strategy. So if your bookings have slowed right down, there's just a few strategies that could work. Medium term lets. Get your property on Gumtree, on Open Rent, on Comfy Workers. Reach out to housing providers. Advertise your property for 3 to 6 months. Work out what you're happy to make as a minimum profit margin. Whatever that is, plus your expenses, that is how much you need to advertise it for per month. You could even rent it out to tenants on a 6-month AST. As long as the contract you have with the agent or landlord allows you to pivot strategies, then it's absolutely fine. And as long as you're not breaching HMO regulations. I know some councils stipulate even 3-bed properties need to have HMO license now. So just go on Google, type in HMO regulations and then the location. So if you're going to rent out to 3 tenants on an AST, then that property won't need a HMO license. Most unlikely, because most of the UK is 5, some are 4, very few are 3 people. Corporate clients, if you're near a business hub. Target professionals in need of extended stays. Look for social housing providers which are government backed, not council backed, government backed. Really important, huge difference. We all know how unreliable councils are, and it does come down the ladder and it will affect you. Your reviews are really important as well. It doesn't matter how established you are. They are quite important. Don't be skimping on accessories. You'll never please everyone. The beds are a typical example. It's a definite Goldilocks example. No matter how good the bed is, someone will always say it was uncomfortable. Leave it in the review. It's daft. Don't understand some people sometimes. And in this business, you would never understand people. If I went to an Airbnb and I found the bed uncomfortable, unless it had failed, like the springs were literally stabbing me in the back, then I'd make a comment. But I wouldn't be in the reviews like, oh, the bed was really uncomfortable. Well, it might be really comfortable to someone else. Anyway, reviews. Deliver a top-notch service. Like, don't be skimping on accessories in the kitchen. Just do what you know you need to do. Try to respond to guest questions and reviews within a 10-minute window. That's quite important on booking.com in terms of SEO. So let me know in the comments exactly what your challenge is with low season and I'll do my best to help. Check out the links in the descriptions. They are there to help you guys. Don't let them go unnoticed. There's some valuable insights in there. And if you want to know more about our mentorship program and how we can help you go from 0 to hero with rent to rent, then I've created a 20-minute free training video that's also in the descriptions. So be sure to check that out. So guys, appreciate you being here. Thanks for watching. Keep adapting. Like, low season shouldn't be affecting you if you know what you're doing. Have a good day and I'll see you in the next video.